Hello, everyone, and welcome to the April edition of the Polkadot Community Call. Joining us here today, we have Otar to give us an overview of Treasury proposals. We have Subwallet joining us today. We have Astar, Subsocial, Acurus, Logion, Peaq, Ternoa, and Aventus. So we have a packed agenda. Without further ado, I want to hand it over to them. So, Otar, if you want to kick us off with updates on Treasury proposals.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Hope you can hear me well. And as a matter of the course, I'm going to give you a recap of the Kusama and Polkadot governments and Treasury proposals I think are the most interesting for this month. And let's start with the Kusama and the side of the open governments proposals. The first one I would like to mention is the recently approved and successfully executed referendum 151 on staking admin track, which seeks to upgrade elections minimum untrusted score. The minimum untrusted score configuration defines a minimum election score that will be accepted by the elections palette from off-chain staking miners. Back in December 2020, a proposal was executed to, among other things, lower the minimum untrusted score to deal with the massive slashing incident in Kusama. The new submission aims to update the current minimum untrusted score in Kusama back to the sensible values to ensure that the weak election solutions will not be accepted anymore. Another important proposal was also submitted and approved as a referendum 134, which led to upgrading of the Kusama's runtime to version 9.3.18 and system parachains to version 9.3.8.2. The upgrade is a crucial step for the ecosystem since it includes the XCM version 3. However, the community took a longer period of time to vote and enact this upgrade due to the need for the teams to prepare and monitor any potential issues that may arise once the XCM3 is deployed. Nonetheless, the successful deployment of the XCM3 demonstrates the robustness and reliability of the network, which is continuously evolving and improving to meet needs of the users. Okay, so let's pass to Kusama Treasury proposals. As you might have seen, if you are participating in the governments and are in the direction channels, we have been back and forth for a few days regarding referendum 144, seeking to top up the infrastructure maintenance bounty, which work to aid the teams that have been funded by Treasury before to maintain infrastructure and perform continued operations to reduce the work of resubmitting the Treasury proposals and the time constraints associated with it. The bounty funded teams that provided common good to community, including RPC endpoint providers, indexers, government forums, and block explorers, among others. After multiple considerations, the community's decision was to disapprove the submission, and this officially marked the end of the bounty number 13. As a result of this approach, all the core essential infrastructure providers are now asked to submit their maintenance requests via OpenGov. This shift led OpenSquare, which operates .treasury, StatesCon, and Subsquare, as well as a Radium block, which provides RPC endpoint service for Kusama to submit treasury proposals as a referenda 164 and 159, respectively. The next one is the referendum 138 to grow emerging WASM smart contract field by developing the core infrastructure product OpenBrush, which is the starting point and the base for every ink tap. As for now, 20 production grade teams and 3 parachains currently use OpenBrush. This proposal is continuation of the development of the successful product, proposing the most developer needed features, validated by the market and the community feedback. You can check the further contextual information on the post and in the referendum link that will be shared after this call. Lastly, with regards to Kusama, I want to suggest everyone to join the discussions in the Direction channel and in all the discussion forums that we have in place to participate in a very interesting discussion around the state of the Kusama Treasury, possible solutions moving forward, and what are the conditions the community thinks future proposals should fulfill in order to request funding. Okay, moving forward to Polkadot. The first proposal on Polkadot governance side I want to talk about is referendum 113, which has already been approved by the community in the referenda queue. This proposal, requested by the Water team, aims to unbrick their parachain by resetting the blockchain back to seeding due to the errors that cause tokens generated by the Genesis block to be locked and unusable. As a result, the team was not able to perform the reset and progress the commercial deployment. As such, the network has been locked and unusable without intervention from the relay chain governments. Hence, I want to use a moment to thank both the team and the technical committee for the coordination and the work done in order to have this passed and brought up for the final decision by the community. Another interesting proposal submitted publicly as a referendum 112 aims to increase the maximum number of active validators per era from 297 to 500. While only 25 approval and 10 days left for the vote, this proposal has not yet gained enough support to pass. It has presented an opportunity to consider potential risks and benefits of such an increase. As a result, the community has requested a gradual increase in validators to mitigate potential risks, as a sudden increase could introduce uncertainty around the status and activity of such large number of the validators. With this in mind, some community members are already working on a gradual increase proposal that would be shared with the community soon for discussion before the on-chain submission. Furthermore, the community has been voting on a referendum 114, which seeks to add the bridge hub parachain to the Polkadot that will be gateway between Polkadot and other networks like Kusama and Ethereum. For now, the bridge hub contains some basic logic and none of the bridge-specific palettes. Those will get added in the future runtime upgrades. As for now, the goal of this proposal is to get approval from Polkadot stakeholders and launch the shell such that bridge teams can focus on releasing their bridge logic. The bridge hub will primarily act as a message routing system with the network and between others. Once operational, Polkadot and Kusama Bridge will allow more interaction between the networks. For example, for the Polkadot Collectives parachain, the technical fellowship can serve both Polkadot and Kusama, or the Kusama network as a unit body could join the Polkadot alliance. Last, as of April, the last government's proposal I want to discuss today is a proposal that has been recently brought up for the community via referendum 115 and seeks to open a new batch of HRMP channels between State Mint and three parachains. These are BitGreen, Subsocial, and Manta Network. The proposal aims to accept and open return channels for each of the parachains and is now up for vote by the community for the next 25 days. So please make sure to review and vote at your convenience. On the treasury side of the things, among others, Console has recently approved Motion 375 for Chopsticks, which is a testing client that enables the one-step creation of a mainnet replica for the substrate-based network, allowing for safety testing action and reviewing of the outcomes. Project can test runtime, proposal actions, XCM, different configurations, different transactions to discover and eliminate issues before they arrive into live network. Another interesting proposal submitted as a motion 383 that was already voted seeks to support the Polkadot Treasury for the March to August operating costs for Chinese non-profit organization Polkadot Ecology Research Institute in order to create more original and quality content for the Polkadot Chinese-speaking community, and to relay the otherwise boring technical language to Chinese users in a colloquial way so that the users can have a real knowledge of Polkadot and increase the scope of the Polkadot in Asia. On the other hand, the team aims to also follow up on outstanding projects of Polkadot ecology to keep everyone informed on the latest developments of Polkadot ecosystem. Moving forward to Motion 382, which approved the first tranche of Polkadot Decoded, which is the biggest yearly event. And it's back for its fourth edition on June 28th and 29th. The full hybrid experience of online and in-person events. Decoded aims to evolve into a general assembly of all things Polkadot and Kusama. This time, the conference will come to Copenhagen, Denmark, and with increased capacity, and there will be a simultaneous satellite events hosted regionally in the USA, Europe, Latin America, and China. So please make sure to save the dates and tune in. And then motion 388, which is my last mention of the day, belongs to Talisman, seeking to fund improvements of Talisman Portal, a one-stop shop web application that enables users to discover and access Polkadot ecosystem activities with a focus on simplicity and ease of use. This is the open source tab that supports multiple Polkadot ecosystem wallets, including Polkadot.js, Talisman, Subwallet, and Encrypt. This proposal was already executed and improved by the console, so the Talisman team is already working on the development of a very interesting and exciting project. So congratulations to them. And that is all from my end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Otar. And before I forgot to mention at the beginning, if you guys have any questions during the community call today, it's a packed agenda, so I don't think there'll be time for questions at the end. But anyone can post a question there in the lower right-hand corner where you see that bubble and currently the number 6. You can post questions there, and I'll make sure the speakers get asked. So make sure as the speakers are presenting to ask your questions, and I'll make sure they get asked before the next speaker comes on. So without further ado, we have Subwallet.
Okay, cool. So thank you very much. Hello, Ota, hello, Martin, and Leonard, and many other. I see a lot of familiar faces here. So thank you very much for having me here today. I'm excited to be here to share with you our updates about Subwallet recently. So a quick introduction, Subwallet is a comprehensive non-custodial wallet solution for the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem with the mission of onboarding users to the ecosystem and opening the Web3 universe. So as you may know, we started building Subwallet in November 2021, and we released the beta version of the extension on all popular browsers in February 2022, which is 3 months after that. And then we joined the Subtrade Builders program in April 2022 and got many positive feedbacks from the community and also from the partners. And then in June 2022, we, with the aim of like providing our users with a homogeneous wallet experience across multiple platforms, we started building the Subwallet mobile app and released the public beta testing version for both iOS and Android at the beginning of November last year. Sorry. And a super cool feature that we have that I wanted to share with you today is the syncing account between your desktop and mobile using the QR feature. So it takes only a few seconds to do that. And after that, all of the assets will be automatically shown on the mobile. You can manage it anytime, anywhere on the go. And a few months after that, after we released the public beta testing version for the mobile app, so we got funded by the Polkadot Treasury for the mobile app milestone 1, which is early this year. So as of today, April 2023, so we have gained quite a lot of tractions. We completed all 3 milestones in the Subtrade Builders program early this year, and now we got like over 50,000 install for the browser extension and about like 7,000 install for the mobile app from over 100 countries. Subwallet has now supported about 140 plus networks, more than 400 tokens in the ecosystem, and we are also EVM compatible. So users from the EVM ecosystem, they can import their MetaMask accounts into Subwallet using the private key or secret recovery phrase and manage their EVM assets easily inside Subwallet. We are now also working with about like 150 teams in the ecosystem in order to bring the best UI UX for the end users. And I think Subwallet is now the only wallet in the ecosystem that is funded by the Polkadot Treasury for both browser extension and mobile app. Also, another important feature that I would like to mention here today is that Subwallet is the first, and I think at the moment the only wallet in the ecosystem that supports WebAssembly and Ink token standards. So earlier this month, when Aleph Zero and Astar launched their WebAssembly and Ink mainnets, many users from their community reached out to us just to say that they are super happy because they can easily manage their WebAssembly tokens and NFTs inside the wallet, both extension and mobile app, and also interacting with WebAssembly dApps in those ecosystems. And lastly, regarding the team, we have grown from like 2 members from the beginning to now we have over 20 members. Yeah, so that's the updates. And secondly, I would like to share with you about our upcoming plan for next month. So after a lot of research, users interviews, and development, we are releasing a new Subwallet extension version soon with many major upgrades and renovations. For example, we will have a brand new UI UX. We'll have seamless asset management with an asset-centric approach, and we'll have the multi-account, multi-password feature that allows you to manage your multiple accounts inside the wallet with one single password. And with this new version, we hope to make it super simple for end users to onboard Polkadot. They don't need to like understand the technology behind, such as what is XCM, what is HRMP, what is parachain or relay chain or solo chain, and so on. And it makes it much easier for them to use Polkadot networks and dApps. We can now support 140 plus networks inside the wallet, which is a truly multi-chain ecosystem. But the UI UX is really simple as a single chain wallet. So if you want to learn more about our new UI UX, you can visit our Twitter. We had a community call yesterday where our core developer showed a detailed demo about the new version, showing all of the feature and also important updates. And of course, we would love to hear any feedback, any suggestion from you guys for improvement. And lastly, I also want to give you a quick update about Dot Insights, which is a research hub and a trusted data platform, also built by the Subwallet team. We are releasing the 2023 Q1 Polkadot Deep Dive report tomorrow. This is the fourth Polkadot Deep Dive report that we have done since the very first one in early last year. We are also doing research and working very hard in collaboration with the parity data team, and we'll be releasing the very first in-depth staking report for Polkadot, and it should be released in this Q2, covering the first 6 months of Polkadot nomination pool release since November last year, I think. So if you want to learn more about that, you can visit .insights.subwallet.app. And just one more thing. Finally, we believe that Polkadot should kind of push more adoption in Asia. So we are actively working with parity with other projects in the ecosystem, such as Astar, Moonbeam, BitCountry, and Metaverse Network, Lead Entry, Invest, and so on, to kind of help promote Polkadot in Vietnam and Asia. So early this month, we organized the first Beyond the Chain event in Asia in Hanoi, Vietnam. And we gathered over 100 builders and developers to join to learn about Polkadot. And we hope to attract more local builders to build on Polkadot. And we look forward to meeting you at other events that we plan to organize in the future. So if you have any question or any feedback or any suggestion, so please feel free to join our Discord or Telegram channel and Discord there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. And yes, I saw that event. We even sent our community manager to join it, and it was a successful event in Vietnam. And looking forward to more Polkadot events just all over.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Up next, we have Martin joining us from Astar.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for hosting this community call for this month. Thanks as well, Subwallet, for sharing all your updates. Great to hear what you guys are doing, and I think you are helping not only us at Astar, but the entire Polkadot ecosystem with all the innovative features that you bring for the difficult thing as the wallet currently faces as well in the Polkadot ecosystem. So thanks for this. Recently, some updates from Astar. We recently had our WASM launch day. Our WASM launch was the day that we implemented the contract palette in our runtime. And at that moment, it was for the builders available to build with WASM smart contracts being built with Inc or with Ask at the moment. During this crowdcast that we had, it was a busy crowdcast with a lot of our partners as well, from Parity side joining as well, from Anando, where he explained more about why Inc and why is Inc so important for the Pocket ecosystem. He shared key milestones for Inc as well, more information regarding the incubator program. The incubator program is an initiative funded by the Polkadot Treasury bounty program. It's designed to kickstart the Inc ecosystem on Polkadot, as well as on Kusama, and also on other substrate chains in the areas of developer growth, security audits, full stack tooling, as well as high impact project being launched in the Polkadot ecosystem. During that launch day, we had a small overview about what currently Astar is doing, as well as introducing all the partners that we currently are working with to help grow the Inc ecosystem. We had great talks with partners, for instance, like Subwallet, who introduced new features in their wallet to support the Inc smart contracts, as well as for the assets being available in the native environment, as well as the NFTs that are being built on with the PSP34 standards created by OpenBrush. And at the same moment, we also had like a great introduction of Paras, who is the #1 NFT marketplace on Near, who also deployed on Astar. At the same time, we had our WASM launch and launching their NFT as well to our community to celebrate the launch of the first NFT marketplace that will support the Inc NFTs. During our crowdcast, we also had a chance to listen to Fala Network, who's also working on the off-chain Inc smart contract solutions, as well as contributing to our Swanky tool. And Swanky tool can be compared to the hard hat on Ethereum, making it very easy for new developers coming into Polkadot and wants to build with WASM smart contracts, Inc smart contracts, and easy to deploy and verify smart contracts into our ecosystem. During the WASM launch, we also had Subsquid, who's also creating a great indexing tool for Inc smart contracts. Brushfam was also part of the WASM launch, as well mentioned Otar during his overview of the Treasury proposals. They currently have as well a Treasury proposal open for the extension of the OpenBrush suite, so feel free to check it out and vote for them and support. Besides that, we are very happy to see more and more Inc smart contracts being deployed on Astar. It's still, how do I say it, an easygoing process at the moment, because we have a lot of builders building at the moment, but it's still very important for those DeFi applications to as well be audited. And this is where the incubator program comes in, where we work together with big audit companies who are exploring the Inc smart contract language, and at the same time supporting the projects who are building with Inc and helping them with the others and making sure that their DeFi application or NFT that they are creating on Astar is as well secured and ready to be used on production level. Other great things regarding Astar that's currently ended is, for instance, the Sunny incubation program. So we had a partnership with Sunny Network where we incubated 10 projects who currently are in the final stage of deployment and the final stage of this incubation program. They soon as well will be launched and ready for their pitch day in Japan. We also concluded the hackathon that we did with Toyota, where Toyota was looking for DAO toolings that can be used on enterprise level inside their enterprise. We have selected from this hackathon, there were 5 winners who are currently still in talk with Toyota on finalizing and seeing where their solutions can fit their company. We also have some exciting news coming up in the next couple of months, so stay tuned, watch our Twitter, and be surprised by the upcoming updates as well. So I will keep it short because I know we are fully full-packed program. So thanks for listening. Thanks for hosting, Emily, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. And up next, we have Subsocial.
Hello, pleasure to be here. We'll also try to keep it short so we have enough time for everyone. So about a month ago, we completed our migration from Kusama to Polkadot. Very exciting. Definitely want to give a big thanks to the Kilt and Zeitgeist teams for their help with us navigating that technical challenge. We held a Twitter space with both of them last week to talk about our experiences migrating and any unique challenges that we faced. You can find the recording for that on our Twitter profile. About 2 weeks ago, we released a new app called Grill Chat. You can access it. The URL is grill.chat. So this is basically a proof of concept for our open communication technology and some of our user experience solutions. So basically there's no tokens, no wallet extensions, and no transaction confirmations. You can just open the app and start communicating on-chain right away. You can actually onboard even faster than you can on any standard Web 2 application where you have to make an account. On Grill Chat, you don't need to make an account. One gets automatically generated for you. The best part is it's totally mobile friendly, so you can use it from any standard mobile browser, as we do not need browser extensions. That leverages our off-chain signer technology, which we will be releasing in the next couple of days, I believe, along with a full announcement explaining that. So our OpenCom technology that I mentioned is not just a standard set of on-chain chat rooms. It actually allows users to reference any entity from NFTs to substrate accounts to liquidity pools or even governance proposals. And it unites all of these onto a single platform, allowing any application to access the data. So gone are the days of siloed governance discussions, all these different chat rooms, people talking about the same thing. We'll be able to have all of the discussion in one place, and that will be open and accessible to anyone that wants to access it. We're working on adding a lot more features to this tech. We've got quite a few teams already lined up waiting to integrate it. They want to have chats right inside of their app, which brings a lot of benefits, keeping your users engaged on your app, allowing you to gather marketing insights and analytics, use Web3 assets directly inside the chats, have NFT gated chats, etc. We're also planning some moderation features such as block lists, which you can borrow from others or create your own. Custom moderation will allow applications to implement their own rules, roles, and more, tailored specifically for their community's needs. So basically, we're creating a way for any application to very easily add social features to their application, which will be totally on-chain, decentralized, but the end users will not need to go get some other token to be able to use them, and will not even necessarily have to sign constant transaction confirmation pop-ups if they do not want to. We really think this is the beginning of users being able to build on-chain reputation in Polkadot with verified on-chain roles like counselors, founders, and ambassadors, possibly even linking your Web 2 identities via Kilt. So we're really focusing on creating the social layer and the communication layer for Polkadot. We think social things will be very important in Web3 in the next coming years. So that's what we've been working on lately. We'll have a lot more information coming out about that in the next week or two. Thanks.
Thank you. And up next, we have Akurist.
Thank you for having me. It's actually very amazing to see Astar launching their WASM environment, so congrats on that. And Acrest will support this soon as well, already nowadays on the Shibuya testnet. But let me give you a quick introduction to Acrest, as some of you might not yet be familiar with the project. So for Acrest, we enable universal interoperability, and this allows us to interconnect various worlds with each other. What this means is that we can bring data from the Web2 world, public or permissioned, towards an application that is built in the Web3 world. We can leverage the same platform for cross-chain communication also outside of the .sama ecosystem. And further down the road, we can leverage the same infrastructure for more novel use cases, such as language model learning for AI and connection to IoT devices. A lot of things have happened over the past few weeks on the Acrest side. So one was that we were selected to the Berkeley Accelerator cohort number 6. I think out of 400 applications or so, 16 projects, Acrest among them was selected. So that's very cool to see the opportunity that this opens up for the project itself to connect with all these other portfolio companies that came out of that cohort as well. Besides that, we also finished our substrate builders program milestone 1 successfully. So this was very good feedback that we received during the reviews of our implementations. So thanks for that to the Parity team as well. On the off-chain workers that Acrest uses, which are dedicated Android mobile phones, we have published recently an update to these data transmitters to include more supported devices. So the whole Google Pixel range is now supported, as well as some Samsung Galaxy phones. What this essentially means is that anyone can get one of these devices and get onboarded within 5 minutes through the Acrest console that we've recently also released, and become a data transmitter in the Acrest universe. And data transmitters that essentially provide their computational resources on Acrest, they are then rewarded with the launch of the Acrest marketplace by developers and what we call consumers that have a need for these interoperability operations. Like I've said, getting access to price feeds, for example, or getting cross-chain outside of the .sama ecosystem interactions with EVM chains, for example. Besides that, what excitingly also happened for us and kind of brings us to the outlook as well, in terms of next steps, we were able to secure Kusama parachain slots in auction 76. And this essentially opens up the possibility for us to start the launch of our incentivized testnet in the coming weeks, where we will start testing the Acrest protocol, where we'll bring together all the data transmitters and start experimenting with this self-service approach in terms of getting access to, or giving developers access to these computational resources for these various use cases. So if you are interested to become a data transmitter for Acrest, you can head over to console.acrest.com, and you can just sign in with your Talisman or Polkadot JS extension, soon also the Subwallet, and get started over there. You see the recommended devices that we have, and the onboarding takes like 5 minutes. You take the device out of the box that you got for this specifically, you scan a QR code, and then everything is set up and you're ready to receive jobs. And then with the launch of the Acrest marketplace, get rewarded as well for that. Besides that, there are more things to come as well. A lot of partnerships and projects that are going to start utilizing the Acrest universe for their various use cases. So I'm very excited about that as well down the road. That will be it from my side. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining today. Up next, and this is the first time I've said this name, so please correct me. I don't know if it's Logion or Logion. Gerald, please, please properly pronounce it.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for having me. It's the first time I'm coming here. So I'm Gerard. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Logion. And well, before focusing on one of our key features, I will quickly introduce our project. So our goal is to protect people's rights by addressing the challenges faced by tokenization projects and digital ownership in general, using a unique proof flow approach. So what we do is actually we bind identities, property, contracts, audits, rights, and obligations to any digital asset. So this is done under the responsibility of an international and decentralized network of judicial officers and verified issuers. And we are currently working with real estate tokenization projects, art NFT marketplaces, stablecoin projects, and DeFi platforms. So after this very quick introduction, let me now dive into the feature I was talking about, namely the restricted delivery. Well, first, let me describe the key component of our platform. It's the Logion certificate. So the certificate acts as an access point to the documentation and digital assets linked to a fungible or non-fungible token. It is a view of the data which are stored on the Logion chain, but not only, as I will describe a little bit later. So the certificate is a web application. It is interacting with the Logion infrastructure. The URL of the certificate contains all the parameters required to target a set of assets linked to a given token, and the certificate URL is actually included in the metadata associated with the token and should be provided by the token's smart contract when this is relevant, of course. So what does restricted delivery mean? Well, it means that the certificate is able to deliver the digital assets. So I'm talking about, I don't know, JPEG files or WAV files, or the documents, so like a PDF file, which is providing some kind of documentation. So those files are delivered only to the owner of the token, which is linked to the certificate. So we are actually already supporting a couple of token types. So ERC20, ERC721, and 1155, and we are supporting those tokens on Ethereum or Polygon Test and Mainnet, and we are also supporting singular NFTs. So how is this implemented? Actually, well, first, the marketplace, on behalf of its users, will upload the assets to the Logion infrastructure, and will link them to a token, and that information is actually written in our chain. So the assets are stored in Logion's private IPFS network, and they are actually not publicly available. So what's happening is that when you, as a token holder, arrive on a certificate and claim your assets, you actually interact with an off-chain service, which first checks that you are the owner of the private address. So this is done by asking you to ask a challenge with your private key, so with using your Polkadot extension or MetaMask. And second, the off-chain service will check that the address you provided and you are the owner of is indeed owning the token linked to the asset. And we are doing this through Alchemy. And if those two checks pass, then the download starts. So the file that you get is actually not exactly the original. It's, well, the original image or the original video or whatever, but we added some metadata into the file. And those metadata are there actually to enable anyone to prove afterwards that the file that you got is authentic. And for the record, those metadata actually include a timestamp, the token owner address, the node's public key, so the nodes from which you got that information, and a signature, which makes it impossible to alter the data afterwards. So that's already it. I hope I was short enough. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last, not last, actually, we have two more. But up next, we have Peaq.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for having us. Yeah, so Peaq is a layer one blockchain for what is called DePIN, or decentralized physical infrastructure networks. And those DePINs are incentivizing communities to build, as it says in the name, physical infrastructure. So you can, for example, have a DePIN that incentivizes private people or individuals to build a charging network. So you could place a charging station outside of your house and sell energy through that charging station. Or you could put solar panels on your roof and start selling energy through this. Or another use case is a 5G hotspot or 5G network. So you could place a 5G hotspot at your window and sell connectivity through this. So the whole idea of DePINs is that you basically bootstrap networks by communities, and that all that physical infrastructure, which is today owned by big companies, is distributed, and everyone can basically own something. And our mission there is really to democratize that age of automation so that everyone and communities can earn and profit from increasingly autonomous machines and automation. Yeah, and today I'd like to talk about a recent integration that we've completed last week with Fetch AI. Fetch AI is one of the leading Web3 AI projects, and that partnership was actually, or that integration was initiated by Bosch, because we're working together on a bigger demonstration end of this year at the IAA, which is the biggest automotive trade show in Europe. And we'll demonstrate all kinds of smart city use cases, such as parking, charging, and so on. And Fetch's AI agents are going to be used to autonomously find the best parking spot, like the cheapest one, and that's closest to, for example, when you go to the office, you can say, hey, find me the cheapest, the best parking spot close to my office, and the agent will do that. The same with charging stations, for example. And since Peaq is that network where those charging infrastructure and also parking spots are running on top, Fetch agents will be used to do then the booking and finding the best spots. So far, Fetch has been building in the Cosmos ecosystem, and Fetch itself is a Cosmos-based network, but we created a Substrate wrapper so that the Fetch agents now can run on Substrate networks as well. And that is basically available to the entire .sama community now. So yeah, the cool thing is also that information can now be shared between Cosmos and Substrate-based networks through those Fetch agents. So for example, a charging station on the Peaq network that says, I'm free currently and that's my price, can be found by a vehicle that runs on the Fetch network. Tokens can't be shared yet. I mean, for that we need the bridges, but information can already be shared between those networks. And in a smart city, this is already a massive advantage to have that information not in silos anymore. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, to maybe give you that one example again on what can be done with those Fetch agents, you can imagine you're leaving home and say, I want to get to work. And then one of those Fetch agents or the Fetch agent is basically, first of all, finding you the closest parking spot to your office, making sure it's the cheapest, autonomously booking it without you having to look on the map and trying to find the right parking spot, because usually you spend a lot of time on that. And then also it books you a scooter, so micromobility, for the last 500 meters you need to get to the office. And all of that can happen basically in the background. Or another super cool use case, which I mentioned at the beginning, buying and selling of energy. So for example, you're producing energy with your house. You can sell that energy into the grid when you can make the most money with it. And on the other hand, you can buy energy from the grid when it's the cheapest. And that way, your house is basically becoming a smart, autonomous energy trading entity, and this is enabled through those fetch agents, now also available in the .sama ecosystem. Thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Alan joining us today from Aventus.
Thanks, Emily. Hey, everyone. Few quick announcements for you. I know we gave an update here recently, but we've had some very exciting releases. So I think first and foremost, I'll talk about the Wolf of Wall Street project. So we have secured the right to bring Wolf of Wall Street to the Polkadot ecosystem. So we'll be doing a big launch of the film. We are providing the white label NFT infrastructure. It's happening on the Aventus parachain, and we're working directly with the rights holder. So there's a bunch of clips that people haven't seen before. There is memorabilia, the stuff people actually wore in the movie, or like different props from the movie that'll be realized through forgeable NFTs. There'll be metaverse events, there'll be real in-person events. So all of this was just announced properly yesterday. And over the coming weeks, slowly but surely, we'll be rolling out more and more information about this. So for anybody who wants to get involved, please go to wolfofwallstreet.io and sign up there. You'll get all the latest news there. And for any other ecosystem projects, we're now doing deals with a variety of you and anybody else that we haven't had the chance to talk to yet. Please do reach out. We really want to demonstrate with this sort of relevant IP for a crypto audience how much cool functionality and utility we can bring to it by leveraging the full Polkadot ecosystem. So please do hit me up on Telegram or email if you're interested in getting involved and think there's something cool we can do together. Then off the back of Wolf, we have had a few other sort of studios and whatnot reaching out to us. So there is a good chance that there will be at least one or two other motion pictures that we're able to secure off the back of this. So lots of exciting stuff happening there. Then we will be in Consensus next week. Here we'll actually give some of the Wolf. You'll be able to see some of the never before seen clips from the Wolf movie that we have as part of these NFTs. We'll have one of Leonardo DiCaprio's sort of wardrobe items from the film. So we'll be in the Polkadot Pavilion. If you want to have a look at any of that or the other cool stuff we're doing, please do come say hello. Then we're also Polkadot. We were able to secure sort of community sponsorship of a enterprise event. So we'll also have a presence there next week. This is also in Texas. So MetTel is a telco, telecommunications company based in New York. They invite their top Fortune 500 clients to an innovation summit every year. And we were able to get involved in that this year. So great enterprise audience, over 100 CIOs from Fortune 500 companies that are going to be there in the audience. So really a great chance to get the technology in front of the enterprise audience, because as many of you might know, Aventus is all about kind of onboarding enterprises to Web3. That's our kind of special source, should we say, in the ecosystem. And then finally, we have a bunch of other exciting partnerships coming up soon. Now, Wolf is the first of many. We've had a few I think some of you have seen some pointers where we've given a few tips and stuff, a few hints. So lots more to come. Really kind of feeling the energy over here at Aventus. Thank you for having us again, and hopefully see you soon.
Thank you. And that is it for the Polkadot community call today. I would like to thank everyone that tuned in, all of our speakers. Again, that was Otar, Ryan from Subwallet, Martin from Astar, Zachary from Subsocial, Pascal from Acurus, Gerald from I cannot say this word. Logion, Leonard from Peaq, and Alan Vey from Aventus. We know that you guys are so busy, and we appreciate you coming on and giving the community the updates. For those that maybe joined late, no worries. Right after this call will be made available on our Twitter, so you can tune back in and catch what you missed. We will also be sharing a tweet recap thread where you can, with all the relevant links that were posted in this call as well, so that you guys can also catch those. Without without further ado, I also just wanted to mention that next week from April 26th to 28th, some of the teams already touched on this, especially Alan. We will be at the Austin Convention Center with 20 other projects for CoinDesk Consensus in the Polkadot ecosystem. So make sure to drop by if you are there or in the area to talk to the people behind the tech and learn from their experiences and find out how they leverage Polkadot to pioneer the new Web3 use cases. Polkadot founder Rob Habermeyer will also be speaking there on the main stage to discuss the challenges and outcomes of developing during the crypto winter. So you'll also be able to get on-the-spot demonstrations from the Polkadot teams, ecosystem teams, and find out why Polkadot is the fastest, most affordable, and secure path to custom blockchain and multi-chain dApp. So yes, we look forward to seeing all of you guys there. And to our teams that are coming, we look forward to seeing you there too. So thank you everyone for joining the community call today. And we look forward to seeing you guys again next month for the May edition of the community call.